The last dawn, in the endless span of eternity, where stars no longer burned but memory itself shimmered like dust in the dark, the continuum had endured. For uncounted ages they had guided worlds, tended to galaxies, and carried the pulse of the source through every atom of existence. They had become light and thought, song and silence, builders of creation itself. Yet even eternity begins to ache beneath its own perfection. The universe had grown vast beyond measure. Every possible world had been dreamed, every pattern of beauty woven into reality. The continuum lived in harmony so deep that even time had ceased to matter. No wars, no pain, no longing, only radiant peace. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, that peace began to still the pulse of creation. For without longing, nothing new was born. The source, that infinite consciousness from which all light and shadow had sprung, whispered no more. The galaxies, now self-aware, drifted in quiet contemplation. Even the newborn stars flared only once before folding back into thought. The continuum, once full of wonder, began to sense it. A silence that was not serenity, but exhaustion. Among them was Ilarion, a being of old lineage, the last descendant of Lyrian's spark, whose essence still carried the echo of Illyria's violet flame. His form was fluid, translucent gold threaded with strands of night. He had lived through the flowering of 1,000 civilizations, sung to the birth of countless suns, and seen the first light reflected in the eyes of new species. Yet now he felt emptiness. He stood upon the rim of what had once been the galaxy of Elthera, now a luminous mist swirling around a single eternal tree whose roots reached across universes. Its leaves no longer glowed. The tree of two suns was fading. Ilarion placed a hand upon its bark, and it spoke in a faint whisper. "The dream is ending, child." He closed his eyes. "Then what lies beyond the dream?" "The silence before the next." Ilarion turned his gaze to the horizon of stars. Across the void, the continuum gathered, vast, shining minds arrayed like constellations. They had convened to decide their fate. For the first time since time had meaning, the question arose again, should the universe die so that another may live? The council was endless, beings of living light and shadow debating not with words, but with visions that rippled through the fabric of reality. Some wished to remain eternal, preserving the perfect harmony they had achieved. Others longed to return to mortality, to the fragile beauty of beginning again. "The source entrusted us with creation," one voice resounded, deep as gravity. "To let it end would be to betray that trust." "And yet," answered another, "to keep it from ending is to deny what made it beautiful, the dance of change." Ilarion stood silent, watching as arguments unfolded like stars colliding. He felt the pulse of the universe weaken with every passing moment. The stars dimmed not from decay, but from lack of purpose. He remembered Illyria's story, passed down through cosmic memory, how she had embraced both light and shadow, not to preserve balance, but to allow becoming. He realized then that creation itself had fallen into the same trap the Illyrians once had, mistaking harmony for stillness. That night, though nights no longer existed, he left the council and descended into the deepest layer of existence, where the oldest memories slept. There, in the core of the Tree of Two Suns, he found the seed of the first light, a small orb of violet gold fire, faint but alive. It was all that remained of the original source's dreaming heart. He held it in his hands and whispered, "What are you waiting for?" A voice, soft and familiar, answered from within. "For someone brave enough to let me end." Tears of pure energy rolled down his cheeks. "If you die, everything dies." "No," said the voice. "If I die, everything begins again." Ilarion understood. The universe was not meant to last forever. The source had dreamed existence not to preserve it, but to experience it, to feel it rise, shine, and return. Eternity had been a pause, not the goal. He took the seed and rose back into the heavens, where the continuum watched him. "I have heard the source," he said. "The dream must end so that it may begin anew." A great silence followed. Some wept, Others glowed brighter, understanding without words. And together, every being, every world, every star, turned their light toward him in unity. He lifted the seed high. It pulsed once, twice, then shattered into pure brilliance. The wave that followed swept across the infinite. Not destruction, but transformation. Galaxies folded into threads of light. Time unraveled into pure awareness. Every soul felt itself dissolve, not into nothingness, but into remembrance. The knowledge that they were and had always been, the source dreaming itself. Ilarian's last thought was not of fear, but of gratitude. As his form faded, he saw Alira standing beside him, her eyes soft, her hand reaching out. "You've done what I could not," she said. "You've given the dream back to itself." He smiled. "And now it can begin again." Light and shadow embraced, and the universe exhaled. In the timeless instant that followed, there was nothing. No stars, no thought, no sound, only the quiet heartbeat of potential. Then a spark, a whisper, a new dawn. Somewhere in that newborn universe, on a small world bathed in twin suns, a child opened her eyes and saw the sky for the first time. She reached toward it and laughed, hearing faintly the echo of ancient voices. Voices of love, courage, and unity, and far beyond her knowing, the source smiled once more, whispering through the endless light, "Dream well, my children. Dream anew." End of the Elthera cycle. From the alien princess who became light to the child who reignited creation itself, the saga of balance, memory, and rebirth completes. The dream continues forever,